Welcome back. So, today I wanted to talk to you about some exercises or some movements that you should avoid with a diastasis rectus abdominis. So, you've probably heard that you shouldn't do sit ups, you shouldn't do crunches, and you shouldn't do planks or any extremely difficult core exercises. And everyone is different, but generally you should avoid these activities because it tends to put an increased pressure in your abdominal cavity, and that can cause the separation to become even more pronounced and even weaker and more difficult to um, strengthen and heal if it's separated or getting wider because of the exercises that you're doing. So you probably know you shouldn't be doing that. So you're not going to boot camp classes and doing these high intensity extreme core exercises and you think, oh, I must be good because I'm not doing that. But you could be doing these exercises without even realizing it. So just think for a second. Next time you go to put your baby down into a crib, you're leaning over and you're not supporting yourself. That's kind of like a plank, isn't it? Sort of. And next time you go to get out of bed, notice how you get out of bed. Are you doing a jackknife sit-up type of activity? Most likely. So there you go. You're probably doing things throughout your everyday, not realizing that you're doing these extreme core type activities without even realizing it. So the trick is to become aware of when you're doing that and to avoid it. So how do you avoid doing these core type exercises or activities in your everyday? Again, like I mentioned, you have to bring awareness to what it is that you're doing. So a couple examples. If you're putting your baby in your crib, maybe move closer to the crib and maybe try to support yourself with one hand to put the baby, to lower the baby down in the crib or to pick the baby up. Or even better, have someone else try to do it if possible. I know it's difficult, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or if you're the primary caretaker for your children. But the trick is to minimize these activities as much as possible. No one's saying you shouldn't put your baby down into a crib or not to pick your baby up from out of a crib, but just become aware of when you're doing it and how you're doing it. Also, when you're getting out of bed, rather than doing a sit-up type activity to get up out of the bed, roll over to your side and then use your hands to push yourself upwards. And when you do that, remember the last time we talked about breathing, you're going to want to do so on an exhale. Other times when you increase the pressure in your abdominal cavity, you may not even think about it, but just doing something as simple as getting up from a chair, getting up from off the floor, or getting up from the toilet. How often do you do that throughout the day? Every time you do that, the pressure in your abdominal cavity increases. So to spread the load and to share the load, I guess, rather than having your deep core muscles getting all the pressure, you kind of want to do that on an exhale. So you inhale before you do the movement, exhale, and as you exhale, you want to stand up or get up. Or if you're lifting something heavy or putting something down, you're going to want to move really, really close to the object so that you're not very far away. You want to be as close to the object as possible. You want to bend at your knees when possible, so you're doing sort of like a mini squat. And you also want to do the heavy work, so the lifting, the majority of the work, you want to do the lifting or the slowly putting down, whatever it is that you're doing, the most difficult part of what it is that you're doing, you want to do that with your coordinated breath. So you want to do that on an exhale. And as you do any of these activities on an exhale, you're activating your deep core abdominals. And you can go ahead and figure out how to even tighten those deep core abdominals, the transverse abdominis, the main muscle that's responsible for bringing things closer together when you do have a separation. That's the deepest layer of your core muscles. If you want to learn how to do that, I have links to my website where I do explain how to do that. And check out another video in the future where I will go over exactly how to do that. So those are some tips. I hope you can use them and I hope they help you. So just be aware of your body, Be aware of how you're using it. You're not doing planks in an exercise class or sit-ups or crunches or anything like that, but just know that you are doing similar movements throughout your everyday. Be aware of when you're doing it, change it, do it on an exhale or modify it somehow just so it's easier for your abdominals. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.